Well, it's 11:01, so we'll kick off. I'm Gavin Keane, Managing Director of Cloud Made Simple, and very proud to introduce Pat Donnelly from Aircall. And Pat is going to be going through a demonstration of Aircall, and especially the features which really make Aircall stand out is its integration with things like uh, Salesforce and HubSpot. Um, and I think that's really complements. We obviously offer Teams calling as well, but Teams calling doesn't have these sort of integrations that Aircall does. And we've got a couple of customers that actually already use Aircall and really love those integrations. So I think that's a real differentiation here. So without further ado, um, I'm going to hand it over to you, Pat. Do you want to take us through how it all works?
Awesome, Gavin. Thanks very much for the intro and thanks for organising today. Nice to meet you all. My name is Pat. Like Gavin said, I work over at Aircall. I'm the channel manager for the wider APAC region, predominantly focused on ANZ clients and ANZ partners. I've also got my colleague Veronica on the call today as well as one of the attendees. As I'm sort of going through the demonstration showing the tool, if you do have any questions and you want to pop them into the chat, stuff like that, we should be able to help you out there with any helpful links or anything else like that that we're going to need. So I might share my screen and then I'll kind of get started. I did want to keep today relatively engaging. I didn't really want to go through like a long slide deck and punish you all that way. So I thought it'd just be easiest to sort of jump in and start showing you guys the tool straight away. Can you guys all see my screen there? Am I sort of good to roll?
Yep, working fine.
Perfect. Thanks for that. So great. Before I get started, sort of talking through Aircall just really quickly, just on the back of what Gavin was saying there, I guess around Aircall and our new partnership with Cloud Made Simple. So obviously Cloud Made Simple and you know obviously the wider customer base, including you guys, have predominantly been Microsoft focused for a long time. But Gavin's sort of gone out of his way and has sort of listened to some of his clients and to what some of those requests were. The predominant requests that we heard were coming out from some of the clients were, like Gavin said, integrations with tools like HubSpot, with tools like Salesforce. And that's really where Aircall plays, and that's really what we do. So on the back of that, I'm sort of proud now to present Aircall to you guys. What I've got open here, guys, is just our website. So pretty simple, pretty plain. You guys can log on anytime. It's aircall.io. To give you guys a quick background on, I guess, Aircall and who we are as a company. We're a French-based company, but strong roots across APAC. We've got a staff of around 50, 55 people here. So, pretty solid in the ANZ market. So you will be dealing with, I guess, a local team on the back of the Cloud Made Simple guys. What Aircall basically is, really simply put, it's a 100% cloud-based phone system. So I'm sure that over time you guys would have progressed through the different generations of phones using, hard desk phones back in the day into you might have some kind of basic internet system now via like a Teams or something like that. Aircall, we really see ourselves as like that modern business phone. So giving you a phone that you can sort of use and making sure that it plugs in and works around the tools that you're already using every day. Tools like your HubSpot and your Salesforce. I'd probably say the first thing I'd point out around Aircall would be, when we are bringing up things like cloud-based telephony and VoIP solutions, it's not the sort of the sexiest topic in the world, but it is important to quickly discuss call quality because obviously you're using the internet to be making a calling. So we want to make sure that all of our clients are capable of having strong phone calls. So Aircall basically relies on a mix between, your internet and then also we use carriers as well. So we can send you good guidelines, I guess, on what's required from an internet standpoint. It is pretty low though. So if you're on your Wi-Fi at home, if you're on 4G on your phone, whatever it is, it should be able to handle Aircall very well. And you should be able to have good call quality. But what we also do is we also rely, like I said, on carriers. So what Aircall basically does, instead of just relying on one carrier, like for example, like a Telstra, what Aircall basically does, it will hook you up to multiple carriers. So the whole idea being there that if you're on a call, let's say we're using, the Telstra carrier, for example, if Telstra ever went down at any point in time for any reason like that, we don't want our clients to suffer. So basically what we do is we'll switch you across to that next best carrier almost instantly. That's sort of how we can sort of maintain our uptime and to make sure that we can guarantee good call quality. And call quality is one of those things that does pop up a lot with Aircall. Next thing I'll point out, guys, is just going to be the integration. So I'd encourage you guys to have a look at our website afterwards at our website here regarding integrations. the main selling point with Aircall and where we stand out above the rest of the market in terms of what we're selling is on the back of our integration. So like Gavin said, the big ones that we hear every day are ones like HubSpot and Salesforce. And that's because HubSpot and Salesforce are obviously the dominant CRMs that most people are using these days. However, if you're a bit of a different style business, if maybe you're using a help desk tool instead of a CRM, maybe you're using something like Zendesk, maybe you're a smaller business using something like an Active Campaign. My whole point here basically is that Aircall has over 100 integrations that are built and ready to go. So not just CRMs and help desk tools, we can also integrate with chat tools and some other things as well. So I definitely encourage you to have a look here on the app marketplace website. And if you do have any questions around integrations or what we can achieve, just let me know there. Fantastic. So moving off the website now, guys, I think I'm going to hop in now and actually show you what Aircall looks like. So Aircall basically has two different user interfaces. The first thing you can see over here on the left, this is what we would call the admin dashboard. This is where basically any of you who would be considered an administration user would be coming in, and you can customize, you can build out different numbers, you can add in different teams and users, and you can leverage some of our more call center style features, things like analytics, our live activity feed, and some of the other stuff that you're going to be doing in a day-to-day from an Aircall standpoint. Over here on the right, this is the Aircall phone. So it's literally just an application. It looks exactly like that. It can work on either a Mac or it can also work on a Windows device. And most importantly, it also looks the exact same on my mobile phone. So I pause to open this up now. You can see here, I've got the exact same interface on my mobile phone as I do on my desktop. The whole idea behind this, guys, is we basically said, Aircall, we're obviously moving away from, that legacy sort of desk phone system. But so what we really want to be encouraging is, if you're at your desk and you're working away as per usual, then great. Let's use the Aircall, the desktop application. That's fine. Let's plug in a headset and we can work like normal. However, if you do sort of leave your desk, if you're away, maybe you're down in the kitchen, making a coffee, maybe you're out getting some lunch, maybe you're visiting a client, whatever that may be. The cool thing about Aircall is that my phone will still ring. So it'll ring through my personal mobile phone just through this application though. So on my mobile phone, instead of it coming through as like a normal call, it will actually say on my phone, hey, you're actually receiving a call through Aircall and it's this client who's calling you. And then I can take that phone call no matter where I am. I can have my phone call, I can put in my notes and everything else about that phone call. And then once that call is finished, everything is going to go and be logged back into Salesforce, back into HubSpot, or back into any of those other integrations I mentioned before. So that in a nutshell is, I guess, sort of how Aircall works, sort of to get rolling there. So I think for today, I'm probably going to cover off some of the basic, I guess, admin points around numbers, teams, users. Then I think we'll hop into like a live phone call, and I'll show you what that user experience looks like of being on that phone call. And then beyond that, I'll probably show you guys, I guess, what an example of an integration looks like, some of the things that are possible within an integration as well. And then lastly, maybe I'll finish on some of the more call center features, some analytics, stuff like that, that if you guys are like a sales manager or a support manager or you're doing IT, these are the kind of things that you might want to be leveraging for your organization. So let's jump into it. So just going to widen up my screen here now and kind of talk through, I guess, some of the main features. So starting off, guys, we have numbers, teams, users. One of the cool things about Aircall, I think, in terms of the way that we've built out the system, is Aircall is designed to be really simple and really easy. So what I mean by that is, if you have to add in additional users, you no longer have to go and contact the provider and say, hey, I need 5 more users for this, or I need to remove these users for that. What Aircall basically allows you to do is you can, if you become an admin user and you become that super agent who can start using the tool on a day-to-day, you can literally just come into here, press create a user, put in a first name, last name, email address, and then whether they need to be a user or an admin, and then you press go. And then once you press confirm, basically it'll go straight, will go straight to that person, and then they can log into the system and they can start using it straight away. So really getting rid of, I guess, that legacy red tape behind a phone system, and I guess the time that it takes you to get set up. Now, the users exist as individuals. You can also group them together as teams. So, for example, maybe we're a sales team, maybe we're a supports team, maybe we're working in another department. The reason why teams are important is because when you think about the way that you're going to be routing a phone call to a team, if you wanted to, instead of ringing one person, you want to ring a group of them, we're going to do that by ring the team, basically. So I'll give you an example of how that works in a second, but I want to start off with probably showing you guys a number. So the way numbers basically work in Aircall, guys, I have two main options. I can either create a new phone number, right within the portal, or it can also port a number into the system. If you're not familiar with porting, porting is basically the process where we take the number where it lives today. Maybe it's living with Telstra, maybe it's living in another phone system, and then we basically will bring that number into our system via our porting team. If you do need to port numbers in, which a lot of our clients obviously want to do, you just basically go through the process. You click the button, you fill out a little form, and you tell our porting team basically what they need to do. The porting team will then go out, get that number, and bring it in. However, for today's example, I want to show you the process of what creating a number looks like. So,
Just with that one, Pat, just
oh
to
yeah, Gavin.
interrupt there for a sec. Is
Okay.
we're more than happy. We've got lots of experience with porting and so forth. So we would handhold our customers and help them through that process as well.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think yeah, having the partner like Cloud Made Simple involved, they can obviously help you guys out with all that stuff. But yeah, just I guess to talk through how that process works.
Yep.
But yeah, perfect. Thanks, Gavin. Next thing to know, guys, the number creation process, really simple, really easy. We have numbers in over 100 countries, I think it is. I know most of you guys are probably just ANZ based, but the whole idea here is you can select numbers, whether it's going to be Australia or New Zealand or other countries. You can also get pretty granular in terms of the location. So if you want to set up a different phone number for a certain region of Australia, you can do all that here. You also have two different options here. So you can create what's called a classic number or what's called an IVR. Classic number is a standard mobile or a landline number. Pretty simple. An IVR is like when you call the bank and it's like press 1 to speak to sales, press 2 to speak to support, press 3 to speak to finance, whatever that is. So you can create either one of those numbers within Aircall. I'll probably go through and I guess probably show you an IVR. That might make a better sense, but I'll probably show you what a classic number looks like as well as a bit of a variance there. So if I was to create an IVR, it would be as easy as coming into here, selecting where I want that IVR to be based. Do I want a local number or a mobile number for it? And this is what I was talking about before with that region. Maybe I'll go Melbourne for our friends at Cloud Made Simple. And then I can basically go next step. I can put in my name, create that number. And that number should literally create itself literally within seconds. So the whole idea being now we're going to immediately assign this number to your team, and then your team can basically start using that number straight away. So as you can see, this number's been created. It's now ready and it's now good to go. So I'm probably going to park that there for a second. I'm just going to quickly show you now what a standard sort of number flow would look like. And then what I might do is I might throw it into the IVR after that. So going back to my number screen now, you can see I've got all my numbers here on the screen. I'm just going to come in down to a number here that I use every day. This is actually my work mobile number. And what you guys can sort of see here is this is, I guess, the way that a number flow looks within Aircall when you're setting it up. So when you're setting up these numbers, guys, we've got call distribution, settings, integrations. You can set up the hours and the teams that you want to be on it. When the call comes in, if it's within the opening hours, it'll go through the standard flow. If it's closed, you can customize an after hours message, either record one yourself or use one of the automated voices, and then it will go through to voicemail. However, when we're using Aircall, what we want to be thinking about is how a call is going to be flowing into Aircall and how can we maximize and making sure that every phone call is going to be received, because obviously we don't want any missed calls or we want as minimal as possible. So at the moment, but if somebody rings my phone number, it's going to ring me for 30 seconds. If I miss that phone call, it goes to voicemail. That's fine for me. I'm a single rep. If I miss calls, I can call my partners back. That's no stress. However, if this was more of like a landline number or like a business critical phone number, then what I might want to start thinking about is adding in other users and other teams. So let's say I want to bring Veronica onto that. Now, if somebody called me, it would ring me for 30 seconds, and it would ring Veronica for 30 seconds. I can customize those fields there if I need to. I can also chop and change this. So now I can drag Veronica to the top, and now instantly, if somebody called that number, Veronica would now receive the call. So that's how easy it is to chop and change and customize as you go. I'm just going to drag this back down to there so V doesn't get a call. I'm also going to put on a team here. So this is what I was talking about before with like the way that a team might flow. So I'm going to put on what we call our BDR team at Aircall. What these guys basically do is they're like our team that go out and try to book demos with clients basically. Now there's 5 people in this team, and you can set it up so that it can either ring these 5 users simultaneously or that's kind of your way to make sure that I guess the agents don't get overwhelmed and all that sort of thing. So that's basically the way that you could set up a number flow. Again, customizable, easy. I'm sure Gavin and the team can work through you with this stuff during that onboarding process as well in terms of what's going to work best for your business. But I guess what I want to communicate here to you guys is that as potential users of Aircall, we want you guys to be enabled and be strong and really become super users in being able to use the tool. And you're going to be able to do that because it's so easy to, and simple to customize everything as you go. So that's basically, I guess, what a number flow looks like there. Beyond that, we also have settings. So this is where you can come in and you can set up different settings for how, things you might want within the phone number. So for example, if an agent doesn't want to wait in a queue, they can press the star button and they can request a callback from the team. That's pretty cool. You can put in things around call tagging, which I'll touch base on in a second. And the last thing you can also do is call recording. So first of all, do you want call recording on? Do you want it on for inbound calls? Do you want it on for outbound calls? And do you want to give the agents the ability to be able to pause and stop, pause and start the recording as they see fit? So all settings that you can put into the number there. Beyond that, guys, we've also got integrations. The way that integrations basically work with Aircall, you'll integrate the portal with the portal. So for example, if I was using Salesforce, at an admin level, I would connect Aircall to Salesforce. And then you just go through a process of ticking on whatever numbers you think need to be integrated, because maybe not every single number needs that integration. It doesn't cost any extra, by the way. It's just deciding, do you need every single call logged in those systems? But it's once you have those integrations set up, you can literally just come into here, click it, and go. Let's say I'll grab intercom maybe. And now that's done. Now that phone number is instantly integrated with that new tool that I've just checked on there. But I don't use intercom, so I'm going to take it off. Beyond that, we can also set up the hours. Again, really easy and customizable. You can go standard 9 to 5, all that sort of stuff, or you can customize as you see fit for certain days of the week. And then lastly is the users and the team. So that's numbers, guys. Quickly, I'm going to go back to that IVR that I set up. What you got with the IVR functionality, if you guys haven't set this up before, you basically just set it up so that if somebody presses a certain key, it can ring a certain number. So forward to internal number. And now I can set that up so that it goes to my mobile. Now the whole idea being, if somebody rings that number up the top there, it will ring through to my mobile number there. And I can then go in the process of setting up different other numbers. So maybe I can ring it to another internal number. Maybe I can route it to an external number. Or lastly, I can create a new number from directly within the IVR menu. So that's, I guess, some of the ideas around numbers there, guys, and some of the basic things that you can get set up from like a call routing and a numbers perspective. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to ring my mobile and actually show you guys an example of what a user experience might look like within the Aircall phone. So I'm just going to ring myself on my personal mobile here. Now you'll notice I'm a bit of a Simpsons fan down the bottom there. So when I ring myself, it should say Seymour's calling, assuming I didn't break anything in the demo just then. Great.
You've muted yourself, Pat. You've muted yourself.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
So I think what was happening there, guys, is I think when I took the phone call, it's basically muted me in the Teams call. So this is what we're doing here. But what I'll do then to improvise, I'll talk through what's going to happen here on the phone call, and then I'll basically show you what happens after it. So I'm going to call myself, and then basically when I hop onto a phone call, what I have the ability to do is, first of all, you would have noticed down the bottom there, I saw who was calling and where they were calling from. It also can link me then into the integration if I've got it set up. So if I've got if I have a contact that matches Seymour's phone number or his his contact within HubSpot within Salesforce, I can go then and click into it. Yeah, let me try that again. I'll see if this works. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, good. Okay, that's much better. I was gonna have to try to remember everything before I did it. Cool. You guys can hear me? Perfect. So this is the phone call. What you can sort of see now, well, first of all, I pointed out was this is who's calling, where they're calling from. We've pulled this contact directly from, in this case, HubSpot, but it would also work with Salesforce, all that sort of thing. Down the bottom here, I've got the caller insight card. So what this is basically pulling up from the HubSpot point of things, it will pull up the live contact page. So I can click in. Sorry, it's clicked on over there, but I can drag that over there. It'll click in and show you who's calling. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Just told the VP to shut up. Back to the phone call, guys. What you can sort of see here is from a HubSpot point of view, when I answer that phone call, I can straight away click in. I can see who's, who it is, but also any open deals, any live tickets, and any other integrations that I have. So this phone number is currently integrated with HubSpot and with Salesforce, so I can click into either one of these pages. The whole idea behind this, guys, is that now when I answer a phone call, instead of saying, oh, can see the phone number and answer the phone and say, oh, who's calling? Where are you calling from? What are you calling about? The whole idea now is that I can answer the phone call and say, hi, Seymour, how's it going? Are you calling about this deal? Are you calling about this open ticket? So really helping to improve the customer experience in that way. Within the phone itself, guys, you've got your standard phone features at the top here. So I can mute, I can hold, I can access the keypad. You can also pause and start the recording there. Beyond that, we also have the conferencing features down the bottom here. This is when I can add people to the call. I can also transfer or assign. To explain the difference to you, if I add people onto the call, I can actually have a search and see which of my team members are available. So let's see if I can find Veronica. There she is. Now I can either add Veronica straight onto the call, or I can call her separately. So basically, we would call it, a cold or a warm. Same thing with the transfer. So I can basically now transfer Seymour over to Veronica, and I can either let Veronica know first that Seymour is going to be transferred to her, or I can just send it straight to her. Last thing you can do, if someone isn't available, you can do what we call an assign. So an assign is like they'll have a task to give that person a call back when they free up, essentially. Beyond that, guys, we've also got notes and we have tags. So from the notes, this is basically where we want to be encouraging agents to be putting in their notes when they're on the call. So with Cloud Made Simple, they want to book a demo, something like that. And most importantly, these notes and now these tags I'm going to select as well are all going to come back and sit here within HubSpot in a moment. So next thing is tags. Tags are really, really powerful, especially when you start considering call performance and what you can achieve out of the integrations. What tagging basically allows you to do is to create, a custom outcome for how your calls might go. So instead of just standard things like, left voicemail or connected on the phone, things like that, what tagging allows you to do, it allows you to get really customized. So for example, I work for a tech company. So common things that happen at Aircall are maybe an agent has booked a demo, maybe they've had a positive phone call, maybe we had to open a support ticket, maybe something else happened, and we can have a custom tag for any of those things there. And then once we select the tag that we want, it's as easy as pressing the tag and then hanging up, and then we can use these tags for a number of things once the phone call's done there. So just going to hang up now and I guess talk through some of the stuff that you get within the CRM, specifically on the back of an integration. So going to open up HubSpot now. So first thing you guys would have noticed here is straight away that call started logging itself within HubSpot instantly. So as soon as the phone call was connected, it started logging itself. And then basically, if you give the phone call, if you give it, a few seconds, 30 seconds sort of thing, you should hopefully see all the notes and everything else that's going to sort of happen. So that's one that I just did then. We'll give that a bit of time to load. But if I scroll down, for example, you can see, I haven't left a note on a while on a call. Here we go. Here's one I did the other day. So basically, you can see here, this is an example of how a call will log. And this looks the same, by the way, in HubSpot and in Salesforce. So what you can see, first of all, is this is the call and it was answered. Here's the call recording. So I can go through and I can take the call recording if needed and listen to it and analyze it from there. There's the comment. So that's the comment. The same thing as I typed in before when I punched in my comment. And there's the tag that I put in as well. And we've also thrown in the call ID too as well. That's kind of good for troubleshooting. Beyond that, guys, we also will sync with the call outcomes and the direction and the duration of the call. And that's all sitting there in HubSpot. Now, the coolest thing about this is I didn't have to do anything within HubSpot. This all happened and it all got synced automatically in HubSpot just on the back of me taking the phone call. Now, this is a good example, obviously, because it's an inbound call and that's great. You guys saw me do it live. However, what I think is kind of cool as well is what you guys would have seen here. So a big problem we have with CRM vendors and the way that they've traditionally done calls is that sales reps will predominantly only log themselves their outbound calls. However, what you start getting here by an integration with Aircall and like a HubSpot or a Salesforce or equivalent is you start capturing everything. So outbound calls, inbound calls, missed calls. You'll see we also have one-to-one text messaging as well. That'll all go sync and be logged straight into the CRM. So if you're a sales manager or a support manager and you want to be seeing that sort of data, we are now capturing absolutely everything, which is obviously going to be really important for you guys when you're managing that life cycle of the customer. Now, I'm cautious I've got a couple minutes left, so I'll probably speed it up a little bit. So From a HubSpot side of things, you can either pull, I'll show you the Aircall reporting in a second, but you can either do reporting within Aircall, or you can pull it into HubSpot to show you that. You can do things like this, where basically you can take Aircall data and you can rip it and show it within HubSpot. Works the same way within Salesforce. Last thing I'll show you today at a really high level as well, is just going to be the Chrome extension. So another cool feature Aircall has is if you have Aircall, you can just download the Chrome extension and log into it. And you can do two things with it. First thing you can do is it'll highlight every phone number in green on any web page run at all. So I can click into that, and then that will, once I click that, it will open up in my Aircall dialer. I'll show you this. It's my phone. If I do this, it should open up my Aircall dialer, and then I can dial out from that straight away. However, what's probably glaring on your screen right now is the power dialer. What the power dialer basically does, I can press add to power dialer, and it will dial each one of these people one after the other. I can hop on the call, put in my notes, put in my tag, and then those recordings, etc., will all go back and be synced back to the system. Cool, guys. Last thing I'll probably show you guys is just a little bit around some of the call center features, really high level. From a reporting standpoint, we can be pretty complex with Aircall in terms of like what we can pull out. This is just an example of our overview page that you get with every subscription to Aircall. What we'll do is first of all show you, I guess, good ideas of like call data, sort of what's happening as well. If you scroll down to here, this is our inbound call thing. And what we'll also show you as well is that if you guys are missing calls, we'll tell you, why calls are being missed. So for example, 5.7% of the calls are missed because somebody was navigating the IVR, so maybe you need to shorten the IVR. 26.3% of calls are missed because no user was available, so yeah, maybe you need to hire more users or add more users onto those call flows. So that's just Aircall being a bit intuitive that way. But some really good, I guess, high-level overview insights that you can pull in, or again, you can pull this stuff into HubSpot if you need. Last thing that I'll probably finish on is just the activity feed. The activity feed is a live feed showing you everything that's happening within Aircall at any point in time. So every single user across your organization, obviously we're global, so it's pretty good for us because we can see when people in Europe and US are online, but even within your local businesses, guys, in ANZ, what you can see straight away here is I've got two colleagues right now. I've got Sam, who's an SDR, and Jasmine's a CSM manager, and they're both on phone calls right now. And I have the ability to click into this button here, and I can listen to the phone call as it's happening. So let's say Sam was new, for example, he was getting up and running, he was training. I can hop in there, I can listen to Sam's call, and is Sam saying the right things? Perfect. We also do take it one step further, where you can actually what we call whisper to Sam. So I can literally speak to Sam as he's on the phone call. The guy on the other end won't hear me. It's just a good way to maybe coach Sam through the call. So just that's some of the more call center features that you get available there. So I'm gonna pretty much leave it there, guys, in terms of the demo. I might just quickly check the chat to see if there's anything blatantly obvious that I missed in terms of questions.
Yeah, or if anyone's got a question, please ask Pat. Or if you want a individual business wants a more detailed demo to fit your exact circumstance, we absolutely will set that up.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. If you do have any questions around Aircall or some of the integrations or what that looks like, I mean, the way that we demo Aircall internally, I mean, I just showed you guys an example of what like a HubSpot demo looks like. But if you guys have different integrations or different needs for your business, just get in contact with Gavin and we can set that up and we can show you guys, I guess, what it would look like within an environment like yours. But yeah, definitely follow up with Gavin and we can go from there.
Well, Pat, that was truly magnificent. Thank you very, very much for that. As you can all see, Aircall's such a powerful tool, especially with the integrations it has. So really appreciate your time, Pat. Again, if anyone wants to reach out directly to myself, and we can discuss your personal situation and then go from there.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
No worries. Thank you.
Just bye.
See ya. Bye.